So we move on to the next session. Welcome back to the fireside chat on diversity and inclusion in drone industry. इस सेशन के होस्ट हैं श्रीमती पूनम गुप्ता, चीफ स्ट्रेटजी ऑफिसर ड्रोन मैब प्राइवेट लिमिटेड, निहारिका कोलाटे, फाउंडर वॉलर, डॉक्टर सरिता अहलावत, एमडी बॉट लैब्स डायनेमिक्स, डॉक्टर रुचि सक्सेना, फाउंडर केयर रोबोटिक्स, मिस मायाश्री, रिमोट पायलट दक्ष अनमैन्ड सिस्टम्स। तो मैं निवेदन करना चाहूँगी आप सभी से कि कृपया ये वुमेन पावर, तालियां हो जाए एक बार। सो ये पावर पैक्ड सेशन, विचारों का मंथन आपके सुपुर्द करके जा रही हूँ। हमारे बीच में होस्ट हैं श्रीमती पूनम गुप्ता और बाकी सभी हमारे मेहमान हैं। एक ही जॉनर है लेकिन अलग अलग इनका डिपार्टमेंट, जैसा कि मैंने परिचय कराया। और अब मैं इस कार्यवाही को आगे बढ़ाने की, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए वुमेन पावर के लिए। तो आगे की कार्रवाई मैं सौंप रही हूँ श्रीमती पूनम गुप्ता आपको, कि कृपया इस जिम्मेदारी को संभालें और मुझे थोड़ी देर के लिए इजाज़त दें।
Thank you so much. A very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much to be with us in this journey here. I am Poonam Gupta, Chief Strategy Officer, Drona Maps. I left a corporate job about 4 years back and then joined this startup to use the eminent this technology and be a part of, witnessing and creating some impact, ground impact for the country. Needless to say, it was a very, very bumpy ride, but eventually at the same time, I had a lot of learnings as well. I am really, really excited about this panel on diversity and inclusion in the drone industry and would love to hear the thoughts from this eminent panelist. So structurally, we will start with certain questions targeting at the panel at large and then a little dig down deeper. The theme is basically consists of the drone operation and the technology, then the biases we have in hiring, and eventually the leadership. So my hope is to stay away from the canned answers, and preferably we'll have a conversation which will remember always. With this, I would like to introduce the eminent panelists here. To start with, we have Dr. Ruchi Saxena, founder Carebotics, and she's a director of India Flying Labs. She is building an ecosystem for adoption of emerging technologies for development and impact, and has created the open knowledge sharing platform, Global Alliance on Drones in Development, where global leaders share their insights and experiences on ethical, safe, and responsible use of drones for the development and impact at scale. Proudly, she is one of among 50 women in robotics you must know about as per the list 2021. Many congratulations, Dr. Ruchi. We have...
Poonam, you might want to check your mic. थोड़ा ना ऐसे echo आ रहा है.
Am I audible or there's echo? Oh, okay. Thank you. Then I would like to welcome Ms. Niharika Kolte, founder Volter Alta. Niharika started her career as an investment banker, and then she decided to use her industry knowledge and add direct operational value in operations and management space by introducing new technologies. Niharika founded Volar Alta to make it the preferred one-stop shop for drone-based inspections, data processing, and analysis for the infrastructure space. Niharika has been featured as one of the Asia's most influential women in Renewable Energy 2020 and also the Guinness Book of World Record. Welcome, Niharika ji. I have a privilege to welcome Dr. Sarita Ahlawat as well, Managing Director, Bot Labs Dynamics, which is amongst the leading startups specializing in the design and development of drones that are not only limited to agriculture, defense, or the payloads. Dr. Ahlawat holds a PhD from the University of Illinois. She moved back to India and has been leading the forefront of swarm tech in India. She has rightly put across that what one single drone can do, a swarm can always do better. So a very warm welcome, Dr. Lawat. Again, a big privilege to introduce Shri, India's first transgender woman, a remote pilot employed with Daksha Unmanned Systems. Daksha is an end-to-end solution provider in the field of UAV technology, from concept design to manufacturing and aftermarket operational services, support services. Having an extensive experience with drone technology on the ground, Shri is with us, and she is working not only with Daksha, but working as an instructor in CSR, RPTO, Anna University, which is a big achievement. A very warm welcome, Shri. Now, I'm looking forward to hearing more from our eminent panelists. So I would like to start with, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what actually interested you about drones, and where do you see the future of the technology? To start with, maybe with
Hello.
Ms. Ruchi.
Am I audible? Okay, so I am a doctor. I have been working with technology since day one of my career. I've helped build a couple of companies, their data products. So while I was working on those kind of projects, I realized that probably this is not enough. There's much more that can be done. Then we were working on telemedicine products, hoping that that will solve the problem of accessibility that we see, the gap that we see in healthcare accessibility. I come from Mumbai. Everything is very easily available just next door. You step down, there's a medical store. You step a bit more, you have a hospital. So women like me to deliver a baby in Mumbai was super easy. I could not do that in Nepal, where my husband is from. So this is the gap that I saw. It's staring and glaring in my eyes. And to solve that problem, I thought something that could fly probably can do the needful. Wow. I got in touch with a couple of international startups, said that, are you interested in working in the hilly areas of India and Nepal? They said, no, not really. I said, great, let me pull into the IITs and ISCs that we have over here. Then one by one, I got in touch with almost every drone manufacturer of our country and brought them into partnerships with my company called Care Robotics. Okay, Care Robotics is what I formed. I thought Care Aerial Robotics sounds a cool name, so I registered that. And we have 40 plus partners. Most of them are here exhibiting. Some of them I have moved out into different areas, but then still many of them are continuing. So that's where the interest in drones came in, helping people with their medical needs, with their basic rights of having a healthy life. Then I learned about drones and I learned about their applications. I realized disasters is something that they have been really helpful in. Fortunately, I got a network of robotics and flying labs, and coincidentally, that time Kerala disasters happened. We brought in 20 different organizations to support in that, in volunteering. We formed something called UAV Task Force for Disasters, which later had almost 200 volunteers from across the country. That group went on to help in COVID-19. So things happened one by one. Nothing was designed, nothing was planned, but one thing flew into the other, and here we are today. And now today we have something called Global Alliance on Drones and Development, which has more than 600 members from 40 countries, and I'm really happy the way it's building up. So again, nothing planned, but yeah, it's heading strong.
No, but great thought and great vision.
Thank you so much.
So Shri, how drones, got your interest? I mean, how did it catch your interest towards drone?
A very warm good afternoon to one and all gathered here. So myself, Shri, remote pilot trainer at a reputed organization at Chennai. So MIT campus is nothing but a great career for me, because initially it started with a small course called as basically a spoken English class too. I got some interest over educating some people. So I want to get educated, so educate people of my community. Today I'm very proud that I'm addressing my community. So hereby a batch of trans men and trans women were selected, and they were given training at MIT College, affiliated by Anna University. So Daksha supported us. So not only that we were given training, we were observed, and we were selected suddenly. We were given work, and surprisingly we got placement at MIT. It was my lifetime achievement, I should say, because it's not an easy task for a transgender to be in a college. If you see someone in the college, it will be like a miracle. So nowadays it's very easy for some transgenders to study, but the place which we stand as a trainer is somewhat different. So while they see, mostly drone is a field where male domination is somewhat, sorry to say this, but male domination is somewhat raised. So whenever we say a CEO of a company, suddenly we come to know that, okay, he might be a male. So whenever we tell a chairman or anything else, we
always think
suddenly,
it's he only. We don't think about
the
she.
word she, we bought it. That's what I should say. So knowledge does not depend upon the gender. Generally, knowledge is which it is placed here. The people who are sitting in front of me, so I should address them seriously. The place which I share with you is not an easy place where I easily rejected. Mostly the gender which we belong to is not at all represented at any place. But here I'm representing my community. It's a great pressure for me. So I would like to address Sir, Mr. Srikant Sir, Wing Commander Officer. We like to call him as father because the one who guides us, one who supports us. Whenever we think we can't, he'll just say, "You can do, ma. You can do. Just do that." Initially, then the one who gave us a place at MIT, Dr. Senthil Kumar Sir. Then one who appointed me as a trainer in his company, Daksha Unmanned System, Sir Ramanathan Sir. I would like to call them three initially to the stage and get some more confidence for me. If you give permit, I would like
certainly
to.
we'll do that. But Maheshri, I would like to say, I think you've rather initiated a very long journey, and this is just a beginning.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I'm sure you must have ignited lot of spark here. So there'll be a lot of acceptance, lot of mind opening with our esteemed guest. This is my urge. Like we'll listen very carefully to Maheshri and understand where she comes from and how she can contribute to this industry. Thank you, Maheshri.
Thanks a lot.
Niharika, so when I met you yesterday, so it was like, really. So how come this journey started for you?
Sure. So, like you mentioned, I was an investment banker for 6 years. I am a 2-year-old first generation entrepreneur and a wannabe techie for now. I started Volar Alta, which means fly high in Spanish, in the year 2020, which was just a month before the pandemic. But, the way that I jumped into the drone space, it actually goes back to investment banking. I was looking at the infrastructure, energy and utility space, and I happened to not only interact with the companies there, as well as understand that the technical due diligence phase of a mergers and an acquisitions deal, right, takes a long time, and it is mostly done on a sampling basis. So it is not, you don't get the truest health of the asset that you're out there purchasing, right? So when I researched about it, it seemed like drones was the obvious choice for this. And that's how I jumped into it. I had access to my future potential clients already. And with a lot of research, I figured that this is the space that I'd like to be in and satisfy my cravings for entrepreneurship. And that's how I've kind of taken
Great, Niharika.
plunge. Yes.
Good to know. Great vision. Wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Dr. Lawat, so again, how did you thought about drones, and how come this particular technology came into your mind when it started with Bot Labs? So.
All right. Poonam, first of all, thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. And before I start, I want to take a moment and say thanks to DFI and Ministry of Civil Aviation for organizing such a big event, bringing all the stakeholders together. I can only imagine how hard it must be. So I would request all of you to please give a big round of applause to the organizers having us on this platform. And also thank you everyone for staying post lunch. I know how hard it is. How I got started is a very short story. After coming back from US, I was stationed at IIT Delhi, ran into my co-founders, physically ran. So we were planning to run a half marathon in Delhi. And so we used to run together for a couple of months. And at that time, we got to know each other really well. And Tanmay and Anuj, who are the original founders of Botlab Dynamics, they were very kind to take me in as their third co-founder. And the journey started back in 2016. At that time, we were focusing more on building individual drones, increasing the capability, optimizing. And eventually it occurred to us, as Poonam said in the introduction, whatever a single drone can do, multiple drones can do much better. So in 2018, we built a swarm of 10 drones, and we were very actively demonstrating it to Indian Army, Air Force. And sometimes people were laughing at us because it's a very capital intensive area. Why would we be bringing a number of drones rather than a single drone? And then Meher Baba competition happened, which some of you already know, and that has completely changed our trajectory. So after having experience of in extreme conditions, flying drones in very high temperatures, high wind and dust, we came back to Delhi and realized that we need to build the system completely in-house, so to get more durability and rugged, to build them more rugged. And in 2019, we had this dream of connecting hundreds of drones. And so we miniaturized the system, and it took us 2 years to make the entire hardware, software, simulator in-house. And now, this January, we were fortunate to fly 1,000 drone on Rashtrapati Bhavan. And thank you. And now, by end of this year, we are aiming to go to 3,000, and we will need your blessings for that. And hopefully, we can make a world record next year with 7,500.
Thank you, Dr. Lawat. Many, many congratulations and all the very best to you.
Thank you.
So I think with this, we got to know, like, you know, when we talk about drones, drone leaders in drone industry, pilots in drone industry, like Maishri also said. So the first thing which comes to our mind is he. If I say my pilot is coming, so the question I get from my client is, what's his name? It's never what's her name. So I think we have to take a leap where, you know, we need to understand that it could be he, she. It is not in the name. It is, rightly you said, it's here. So with this, I think we have a very less time. Quick questions, 1 minute answer. So Dr. Ruchi, you've been into the industry for a long time now, right? So what do you think? Inclusion is still a thought process, or it has become a habit? Is it already adopted? It is in midway, or where it is? Or can we make it a little better?
Hello, audible? Yeah.
Sure.
So I was talking to someone in the audience outside, and they said we need some women drone pilots. I'm like, okay, why? It's good for becoming an IPO. So some people just want to hire women because there is a requirement of gender balance.
Okay.
That's what I've realized, that, okay, it's a requirement, so let's have some girls around.
Okay.
They don't really see that as an intellectual asset, something that they would really value from, but something that's good to have. So still we come to a point where we don't judge anybody in terms of gender. We give everybody a fair chance for being who they are, coming on the panel or on the board or in the leadership. Till then, I think it's still a task in process. And I would really suggest to the women and the girls sitting out here, I keep saying that to everyone, Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. You might get hired as a salesperson, as a business development, as you see many girls out there, all doing business development, not really in the core research and development or technology advancement or leadership or strategy. So if you see that a door is not opening for you, build your own company. This is what Niharika has done.
Absolutely, I agree
Right?
with
Don't wait for any opportunities to really come to you. Do it yourself. Make your own board, hire your board directors, and do it your way.
Agree. I totally agree with you. The same thing happens with me also. So I had a corporate experience of like about 20 years, and then it's like, I felt like that I've been sent to an ocean where I have to learn what to do. So, as a startup and at a leadership space, yes, we all together learned a lot, but I would like to owe it to my co-founders also. So we never, you rightly said, it's like, you have to go and then experience it rather than, somebody coming to you saying that whether you can do it or not. Yes, have faith in you, have confidence in you that yes, whether you've done it before or not, but yes, I can do it. So always have attitude like, yes, I can. So I agree with you. Thank you so much, Dr. Chi. So again, Niharika, whenever I conduct sessions like this, so I come from HR fraternity and then I've handled a lot of conclaves like this. So when we talk about cross-generation diversity, people tend to get confused as to like, diversity is often synonym of like, big sister, like gender diversity. In the past decade, we have seen a lot of rise in, women in leadership. What do you feel? Is it still required or we are done with it?
I think when we talk about diversity, we do not look at the other aspects like having people from different age groups or having people from different walks of life, different experiences, right? We're only very much focused on women and women entrepreneurs and all of that. I think it's time that we de-link the fact that I'm a woman entrepreneur. No, I'm just an entrepreneur, period, right? The moment we start giving importance to the fact that I need some extra, this thing, I think that you've lost the battle. So at Volar Alta, we have very consciously tried to have this different, colorful palette of different experiences, different age groups, genders, and so on and so forth, which ultimately helps us to get a different perspective from everybody, which in turn leads to better decision making, right? So I think the cross-generational diversity that you spoke about is a very important point, and I think everybody has something to offer. So rather than just focusing on women, I think we should look at it from a diverse standpoint for real. That is what I feel.
Yeah, it is not only gender diversity, but yes, there are a lot of other spheres we can focus on.
Absolutely.
Wonderfully answered. Thank you so much. So, Niharika, from your this thing, like, can you tell us, like, a shift from investment banker to your own startup? What kind of difference you've really noticed, like, as an investment banker and then into a drone industry, which is absolutely very, very emerging, new, you never know what's going to happen next. It has eased out, but still, a lot of new things. So what is your take on that?
I think the first thing is the absence of a paycheck at the end of the month. But apart from that, see, I've been on both sides of the table, right? Corporate as well as entrepreneurship. So I feel that being in a corporate, right, you have a lot of things served to you on a platter. Like you have a great team, you have a boss, you don't need to make decisions at the top level management on a day-to-day basis. You have a bunch of business tools as well, right, to use. The one thing that I think I learned from the corporate setting is the importance of setting up processes and systems in place.
Yeah, that learning comes from there, right? Right, you're right.
And then when I look at entrepreneurship, so if I look at it from a drone's eye view, if I may say, entrepreneurship teaches you to kind of own your decisions, right? I've made mistakes, I've faced the consequences, I've learned from it.
Correct.
And I have also applied some of the learnings in my corporate phase into my venture now. So I think I have loved being on both the sides of the table, and now I'm just very excited to continue my entrepreneurship journey.
Great, Niharika. Again, wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
So moving on to Dr. Sarita. Understanding what you've done till now, so I would like to talk about challenges. Right. So what kind of challenges you've really faced and how did you actually, overcome that? So that's very important for us to understand for our learning also.
So I guess anybody, and many of my friends here are from drone industry, so they can add a huge to the list I would have. So building hardware in India to begin is, so there's a joke, right? So building hardware in India is hard. And many of you can actually relate with so there are numerous challenges. Actually, there's a lack of ecosystem, lack of skill required, and I can just go on and on, but I'll say, because when we were building drone swarm, it's very, building drone itself is capital intensive, and when you want to combine 10, 20, 100 drones. So it's one challenge that every drone company faces, and many of my friends will kind of support that, is the lack of access to capital to try a few ideas, prototyping and failing. So there is no funding for you to just try systems out, and there is no way you are going to build a system right the first time. So I think, and now a lot of schemes are coming from DST, IDEX, so that they're allowing you to try some ideas out. So I think one is access, second is getting the desired skill set. Having a hardware engineer in India, and especially have them work in hardware, drone related technology. So what we typically do in our lab is, we take on anybody who's interested in hardware, and we train them for 6 months. And the style that we have is, we have them come open-minded, we also take them open-minded, and whatever they like, and then we kind of have them focus on that and build on their own. So I would say here, before I close, so whatever we have been able to do is because of the amazing team that we have. The team has figured a lot of challenges on their own. Everybody is an expert in the area that they've embarked upon. And it's a collective teamwork of 40 plus engineers that have made it possible for us. So I would say, so challenges is building a team, and lack of resources, and also ecosystem. So if you want to have PCB building, prototyping, casing design, these are all getting started in India. I would say the trajectory is right, but the pace has to be a little faster.
Yeah. Anything regarding regulation? Is it in regulation? So
Regulation.
like, yeah, import of, maybe spare parts or something. So is it all good, or you still face, because it has been eased out, but how is it like with you?
I think lot of things, I would say thanks to Prime Minister, he was here yesterday, and because we are in this for last 5+ years. Initially it was tough. I have gone to customs myself numerous times, so it was much harder to get stuff out, and explaining custom officer that this is not going to blow things up.
Correct.
And there's nothing illegal. So from that point of view, a lot of things have changed. So it was much harder at customs before.
Yeah,
and now
they have been eased
even
out, yeah.
flying drones regulations have eased out to quite a bit extent. And so still I would say, getting components, when I see so many startups have, a lot of us have managed, but still the streamlining hasn't happened. Still, you have to explain to customs, getting access to batteries is still a challenge, because you need so many certification. So all that, so I think it's just, as I said, it's a very nascent industry. We need to figure out so much, and getting access to batteries and casing and a lot of things is still, but I would say it's all going in right direction.
Great. Thank you knowing this. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarita. Finally, moving to Maheshri. So Maheshri, I don't have any particular question for you. I really want you to share your experience. Like, how do you feel? Is there anything which we can take it from here when it comes to your experience? So please do share. But I think session is ended, so be a little quick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So can you hear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The voice which you hear is not only mine. It's a voice of millions of people of my community. Being a part of my community, I know the hardest path and the black path of my community, so that I can suggest my community people to have education as their key. So once we are thrown out from our family on the gender basis, the life starts giving us new hardest experiences which we can't even imagine of. Hereby I tell that my voice may be the light on the mountain which totally changes the darker side of the life. So if Prime Minister is about to see this sessions, so I would likely humbly request him to increase and implement more welfare for trans women, not like sympathy projects. We have all talents, we can change, and we can also be the pillars to support the economical development of our nation. Jai Hind.
Great, great. Thank you, Maheshri, for your views. So I'm sure we all agree that yes, diversity and inclusivity is very, very important if we want to run a successful show. So I'm not really talking about only a women or something like that, but yes, when it comes to diversity, it is cross diversity everywhere. Like whether it comes to talent or a gender or anything. With this, since I can see 4 big zeros just in front of me, I would like to wind it up. Thank you so much for attending this session with us. I'm sure we have a few takeaways from the session. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, eminent speakers. I really would like to thank Drone Federation of India from the core of my heart. So this is something this kind of event was need of the hour. We really wanted this so that at least we all can meet at one common platform, share our views, knowledge, understand, have learning. So thank you so much, Drone Federation of India. Thank you, Madhavi, for inviting all of us here. Thank you all the guests who have listened to us. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sorry for interrupting.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सभी महिला शक्ति को। तू खुद की खोज में निकल, तू किस लिए हताश है, तू चल, तेरे वजूद की समय को भी तलाश है। ये सारी तलाशें यहीं बैठी हुई हैं जिन्होंने उपलब्धियां हासिल की हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का। और मैं पूनम गुप्ता जी आपसे निवेदन करूंगी कि सभी जो शक्ति की प्रतीक महिलाएं हैं उनका सम्मान करें। ड्रोन के हमारे स्मृति चिन्ह है वो प्रदान करके सभी को आप एक एक करके प्रदान करें। पूनम जी। आगे आ जाएं तो अच्छा लगेगा, फ़ोटो अच्छे से आ जाएगी। और पूनम जी के लिए भी एक मेमेंटो। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।